So welcome to this gathering, the return of light and hope. I'm Diann, one of the co-founders and co-directors of Water with Mary Hunt, and I'm very pleased to be here tonight with Annalee North Martin, for whom this ritual would not happen without her. She's the IT behind all of the good things that take place. And also Vera Lugusi, who is with us this year as an intern through the Brethren Volunteer Service. And we have a special guest tonight, Marcy Silvestro. As I was putting this liturgy together, one of Marcy's poems came right to me. And lo and behold, she sent this message that she has just received an award, a first place award for her poetry through the New Mexican, which is the name of the newspaper, 2025 writing contest. So we have a queen with us here tonight. We know Marcy for many, many things, and certainly sharing her poetry with us tonight is one of them. So as we gather, we remember the lands on which we live, the lands that our ancestors walked before us. In the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Anacostan peoples. And I look at the light and the dark and think how many have gone before us that have enjoyed the light and the dark, the changing of the seasons. Let's promise that we will do what we can, that generations after us can also enjoy the light and the dark and the hope that the earth brings in all seasons. December is the season of festivals of light in the Northern Hemisphere. I look around the screen tonight and think we have each grown up with some form of the festivals. Many religious traditions mark the return of light and hope. And let me name a few of them. The Buddhist Bodhi Day on December 8th, the Christian Advent, which started November 30th and goes until December 24th, the Jewish Hanukkah, this year from December 14th to the 22nd, the Winter Solstice on December 21st, the Chinese Zhongzi Festival on December 21st also, and the African American Kwanzaa, December 26th to January 1st. Each of these festivals of light beseeches the sun to return again and awaken hope, and awaken compassion, and awaken justice. So tonight we dare to celebrate a ritual of light and hope in desperate times.
Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour. No one can hold back the dawn. Let us keep it burning. Let us keep the light of hope alive. Make safe our journey through the storm. One planet is turning, circle on her path around the sun. Earth Mother is calling her children home. Come on home, children, come on home. Come on home, children, come on home. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour no one can hold back the dawn. Let's keep it burning. Let's keep the light of hope alive. Make safe our journey through the storm. One planet is turning, circle on her path around the sun. Earth Mother is calling her children home. Come on home, children, come on home.
Earth Mother is calling us to focus on the light of hope within us. Light your candle if you haven't done it already, and hold it up for all to see. And Annalie, how about give us back the gallery so we can see all the candlelight around us? So breathe in the light of hope. And breathe out the light of hope. Breathe in again the light of hope. And breathe out the light of hope to people who most need it on this night. And breathe in the light of hope again. And breathe it out.
From generation to generation, people honor the darkness and call light from the womb of night. We light 5 candles tonight to welcome light and hope into an anguished world. I light our first candle, or not. The candle of the South. To welcome hope into the Southern Hemisphere as they celebrate the summer solstice. We unite especially with the people of the Caribbean nations as the Trump administration destroyed boats and seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela headed for Cuba. May war cease now.
East. I light the candle of the East in solidarity with those in Asia and the Middle East, especially civilians in Myanmar, Gaza, Palestine, Israel, Syria, and Kenya. May peace come now.
I light the candle of the North for those who are afraid of losing democracy, for immigrants, Muslims, Jews, communities of color, sexual and gender minorities, our trans siblings, and those who have experienced violence, gun violence, intimate partner violence, domestic violence, and sexual violence. May justice come now.
I light the candle of the West for those who experience the devastation of natural catastrophes, wildfires and flooding, and those who work for climate justice. May recommitment come now.
I light the candle of the center for all of us. Those who have died this season and those who will be born this solstice. Please put their names in the chat. May serenity come now.
Let us bless these lights of hope. Blessed are you, Holy One of Hope, for you empower us and challenge us to kindle flames of hope. Let us warm our hands over this fire. Cup your hands over the flame and draw the light to your eyes 3 times. For resistance, for solidarity, for hope. And let us open our hands outward and send light to those who need it now.
All is light. Filigreed light filters in us all kinds of revelations. It fractures the darkness, kaleidoscope its unfolding, allowing us to discover the fertile soil of our expanding soul, cultivated through pain and pushing through. Light can be blinding, making us cringe and cry, closing us off from embracing the warmth of its yes, to live differently, to face a truth that invites us to rise from the shadows onto a new and sparkling translucent path. Light is a magician, throwing wisdom stars into our heart, reminding us we have all we need to receive and perceive. All is light in us.
The things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 Hey, yeah. I am light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. All light. Yeah. All light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Spreading the light. Let us spread hope and light far and wide to friends who share joys and sorrows. The light of friendship to you. To people living in war-torn countries, the light of peace to you. To people with cancer and those who are sick, the light of healing to you.
To families divided by differences, the light of reconciliation to you. To children of every race, family, and country, the light of love to you. To people in despair, the light of hope to you. To those who feel alone, the light of connecting with community to you. To those who are without homes, the light of shelter to you.
To those who are hungry, the gift of food to you. To those who have no job, the light of remunerative work to you. To those who fight for human rights, the light of resistance to you. To those who are dying, the light of a peaceful death to you. To children being born this day, the light of life and health to you.
To those who experience discrimination in any form, the light of justice to you. To those struggling to show up for themselves, the light of self-love and forgiveness to you. To the elected leaders of every country, the light of solidarity and truth for the global community to you. To women who experience violence from war, rape, religion, the light of safety and restitution to you. To young children growing up today, the light of hope to you.
What did you hear in the poetry, in the readings, in the prayers, in the songs? What did you hear that inspires you to share hope and light, to be hope and light? And how will you spread it? How can we look out for each other during the solstice season and beyond in these desperate historic times? This is the time when Annalie does her magic and puts us in groups. And as we get into the groups of 3 or maybe 4, be sure and share your name. It'll be on the screen, where you are in the world, because we cross the borders here. And share what's in your heart mostly tonight. We'll have about 10 minutes, and then Annalie will call us back into the large group. Enjoy your time together and perhaps meeting some new friends.
Welcome back, everyone.
Diann, you have to hear the end of Mary Day's story.
Mary J., the end of your story. What's to
Well,
be
the end of our story is this week, a friend of mine who have been walking with a family that walked through Central America from Afghanistan to get here. They were not a member of our military. Fawad was a Kabul policeman. And after we pulled out, the Taliban came and took their things. Well, anyway, we've been working with them, and it took a whole year. I did medical, my other friend Jim did food, and we got someone to do some housing. And now this week we're meeting with lawyers to draw papers up for power of attorney and on foster parenting and stuff like that in case something happens, because it's happening. They have a friend that's in the Twin Cities that is in custody now that came the same way. So the fear, people are so afraid.
Yeah.
But we were talking about resistance in our group. And Mary had a really good story about the Rachel Maddow show the other night that she did in Chicago, interviewing
Timothy Schneider, Rachel Maddow and Timothy Schneider are on together. Thanking the people of Chicago for showing us how to resist.
Yeah. Yeah. Marie,
Yeah.
you brought up Rachel Maddow in our group too. You want to go ahead and talk about that?
Well, she showed a commercial, for lack of a better word. A group of mothers created this little short message that's being shown in cities where the ICE people are active in great numbers. And a little kid is on the floor coloring, and the door opens and she gets up to hug daddy's leg. And the little kid says, "Daddy, Daddy, how was your day?" And then it flashes to all the violent scenes of the officers. And it ends with the little girl again looking up at him and saying, "Daddy, Daddy, how was your day?" And he just doesn't respond. And then there's a closing comment that I think that says something like to the ICE officer, "You don't have to do this kind of work." Something like that. But I thought, how creative and how phenomenal.
And I shared a story similar to that. It's interesting. It's in front of all of us these days, isn't it? The water office is in the World Building. It's filled with justice organizations, nonprofits, and the building next door is filled with, it's a place where immigrants who have ankle bracelets on have to come in and report. And of late, as I come into the office about 10 or 10:30 in the morning, I'm not an early morning person, there have been vans in the back of our building taking people out in shackles because the immigrants who are coming in and reporting are like fish in a barrel, if you will, because they are easily visible and taken. And so they come out in shackles and are put in vans. And so a couple weeks ago when I saw this, I just stared at the person who was leading them out and said, "We are watching you." And he just looked at me and said, "I'm doing my job." I said, "Get another job." And I walked in the back door yesterday and not realizing that the people in shackles were lined up inside. And I just looked at the first one and I said, "Lo siento mucho," which means I'm so sorry. And he just looked at me with this desperate look of gratitude, if you will, the sense that thank you for noticing. And of course, I'm like feeling, how can I get you out of this situation? So it's all around us.
A positive story is that in the Cedar Rapids, Iowa area, that's around Dubuque in Iowa City, they are organizing. There's a lot of sister communities and
Yeah.
Catholic worker houses and stuff like that in that area. So they're organizing, and over 200 are going every day to the courthouse where the people have to go in. And to date, when 9 went in one day, 9 came out. When 10 went in the next day, 10 came out. So if we organize and go to where they have to report, we frighten the people that are putting them in shackles. But we've got to organize them. We got to go all the time.
And that's what happened outside of the World Building on Friday afternoon when there was a protest happening when Garcia was brought next door. And so people were standing in solidarity with him and protesting. And I can't agree with you more, Mary. We have to do it. So this is one of the biggest prayers for the world right now, that is the world that we're all living in. What are the other prayers that need to be brought to the fore, that we talked about in our groups or that we feel in our hearts right now? Who needs our prayers? Who needs our voice?
I think we all need prayers. And we were talking about all of us in our own way can be the light. And we have to think local as well as global. And I think we can only do what we can do, whether it be working in a food pantry or helping immigrants, or Diann looking at that person gave them value in that moment. And I think we have to see that in this darkness, the patriarchal stuff that is rising before our face, the power over model of injustice, is making us all understand the wider perspective of light, that we ourselves are the light, and that we can only do what we can do. But in doing that, knowing that we are really shape-shifting many situations in our community, in the world, with our being in a march, by being at that place of service, but also by financially giving what we can. Because it's not only the immigrants and all that we name are suffering, it's all of us. That saying, when one person's oppression is everyone's oppression. And I think we have to realize that we ourselves are the light and the shapeshifters of doing what we can to change that moment. And that's what we really talked about in our group.
I've always been impressed with the teachers that say to small children, always look for the helpers. Mm-hmm. And that's what you Americans are doing, standing with the arrested and the rounded up. And I've been thinking of that Muslim shopkeeper on Bondi Beach. And he was a heavy-set man, a Muslim, who tackled one of the shooters. And that's an example. And he was shot in the hand. Mm. And he's in hospital waiting for surgery. His name is Ahmed, and he saved Jews. In another way, I have a colleague in Kansas City, and she and I have worked on human trafficking for a very long time. And I was talking to her, and she said, the women are losing their housing vouchers. This is because what the government's doing. They're losing food stamps. She said they have nothing left. And the goal was how do we help her help them? She was trying to find safe places and what have you. So a whole group of us have been out raising money in order to help her purchase food, overnight stays for the women in safe hotels or motels and all that sort of thing. And they're really women who are victimized. So, I think there's many ways we can do it. Raising money doesn't sound like a big deal until you have to call people and start asking for it. But we did, or writing letters and emails. And people have been very generous. So, it's a different perspective, but just as important.
Mm-hmm. I think equally important is that we keep writing letters to our congressmen and congresspersons, etc., over the social media that is ruining our children's lives and taking their life away from them. And there's just no control. Even though some of the media said they would control it, they have not done so. I think that's a terribly important issue as well.
Yeah, it's one we advocate on because it also leads to human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking earlier of the word voice, and I'm not sure if you can get this, but there's a Sister Debbie Blau, B-L-O-W, Blow, who's a Dominican, and she has written, I think it was in 2018, but it was like she wrote it last night or this morning, A Voice is Crying. And so I just share that with you because it speaks of what we're speaking of. Mm. Mm. And she is the executive director of Mission of Hope in Peru, New York. So I think you can dig and get it.
Voice is Crying is a summary in a way, or a lifting up of what we have been talking about. So many voices, so many tears, so many cries, so many screams. Let's hold all of those tonight as we remember the return of light and the return of hope. The reason for the return of light and the return of hope is because there are voices that are crying. May we be that light, and may we call it forth in others. This is our prayer. What actions can we take, Annalie?
Yes, let us put our prayers into action this evening and beyond. First and foremost, take care of yourself so that you can show up and engage in the fight for social justice. So you can speak up about intolerance and injustice. Don't conform to harmful societal norms and reflect on your values. Maybe practice some civil disobedience while you're at it. And you can volunteer at a women's shelter or a food pantry in your community.
So close your eyes just for a moment and feel the power of the darkness around you and within you. There's power in the darkness. And call forth your light, your hope, your healing powers. Filled with the power of this season, let's go forth to be hope, to be light in the world. Let's recommit to taking care of ourselves, living joyfully, sticking to our values and service, engaging in social justice and showing up for the fight, empowering others, protecting democracy, offering kindness and empathy, envisioning a better future, and spreading goodness and hope. Let's resist violence and hatred in all the ways that we can. Harmful stereotypes, behaviors, and habits, manipulation, negative self-talk, intolerance, injustice, looking the other way, pessimism, pressure to conform to harmful societal norms, and the list goes on and on. And most importantly, let's go forth to spread the good news of peace and hope far and wide, right in front of us, wherever it's called forth. May these be the songs in our hearts. And before we listen to this little light of mine, let me say it's by Odetta, who is one of the early feminist singers that I remember growing up with in the 70s. So as I was kind of bringing closure tonight and thought, oh, this little light of mine, really, it's Odetta. So there's a power in her singing it. Enjoy and be the light.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yes, there's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, shine. There's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. May we know that together. There's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All in my room, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my room, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my room, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light, this light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, shine, shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Brother.
Thank you each for being here tonight, for bringing your light and taking your light forth and letting it shine. Thank you, Annalie, for all your work in putting this ritual into the IT world. Thank you, Marcy, for sharing your gift of poetry and your gift of self with us. Thank you each and every one for who you are, who you will be, and all the surprises that are going to come.